Shiva smeared his body, head to toe, in the ash from the cremation ground because he does not want to forget for a moment that he's mortal.
The important thing is, if bhasma is just being used as a symbolism, you can put it all over your body. But if you're using it as a way to sensitize certain aspects of who you are, then it need to be applied only in certain points of your body. In yoga, for different types of sadhanas, for different types of attainments that one may be seeking, bhasma is applied in different ways. But here, I believe all these fools are seeking enlightenment. Hello?
Everyone who follows you knows you're fond of dancing. The Nataraja form…
I am not dancing every day, sir. Only once a year I am maybe dancing these days. Earlier I was dancing little more, but these days there's too much crowd. Can't dance anywhere.
The Nataraja form is probably one of your favorite forms of Shiva, at least you've spoken about it. So people have asked me, and as I said, it's much better you answer the question, particularly because you have talked about Shiva's third eye. What is the significance of Andhaka at the bottom of Nataraja?
So, andha means blind. When you say andha or andhaka, you're talking about darkness or blindness, to be correct. When we talk about light, we're talking about vision. When we talk about darkness, we are talking about being blind. Our problems with darkness is only that we turn blind. Otherwise, what's our problem with darkness? Rest of the things that people suffer is their own imagination. They've been watching horror movies or they're producing their own horror movies. Otherwise, there's no other problem with darkness. A yogi loves darkness. But he loves darkness because he can practice seeing in darkness. So once you see in darkness, where is darkness? Definitely below your feet. So Shiva is a symbolism of that. He can see in darkness because there is no light and darkness for him. Because light is a brief happening. When I say brief happening, this bulb these days, they are claiming they have a 1,000-hour life. The sun may have 1 billion years, but that'll also go off one day. Anything that burns will run out someday. It has to fuse. So, light is a consequence of something burning somewhere. It is a very temporary happening. In the cosmic drama, it's a very temporary happening. So what you see as Nataraja is a symbolism of cosmos. But as human beings, if everything is darkness, we can't see a thing. We need light. So we need to stand upon darkness and see. That is the symbolism of Nataraja. He's standing upon darkness and he's light. Well, he's the dark one, but he is dancing. Today, I think particles physics and other fundamental physics, people who are deep into it, are beginning to say the only way they can describe the phenomena of particles and energy happening, the waves, particles and the mixture of all this happening is, it looks like it's a dance. So it's not by accident that the Sun Research Center has Nataraja planted in front of this laboratory, because that is the only way you can make something coherent out of the creation. It looks like a dance, because it looks chaotic on one level, but it is in some kind of symmetry. This is how everything is about creation. See, someone who creates gardens would think a forest is disorganized, chaotic, everything is everywhere. But a forest can last 1,000,000 years without any management or maintenance. A garden, if you don't maintain for a month, it is forest. So tell me which is better organized? It is just that if we have a very linear vision of looking at everything in compartments, it doesn't make sense that light and darkness is together. But it's not together, light is standing upon darkness. Even now, light is valuable only because there is darkness, otherwise who would care for light? Who would care for the sun if there was no darkness? In the space, light is standing upon darkness, so is Shiva standing upon darkness.
Earlier you mentioned Bhashma, hopefully from cremation grounds. In comparison to something like Ujjain, the importance of Bhashma, Rudraksha, the three marks of Bhashma, Tripurandrak here, seem to be relatively less in Isha than elsewhere. Is that a perception, or is it because those, as you said, require frequent energizing? Or is that just a misconception?
I think a lot of people, I see at least the girls are all wearing Vibhuthi on their forehead. They're also putting it their earlobes, also on their Vishuddhi, because their sadhana is focused in that region.
So does it depend on the nature of the sadhana?
See, we are not carried away by any tradition. Because, as I said, anything that you give it to a bunch of human beings, they will distort it in no time. What is symbolic, if you start thinking it is absolute, that will be… it'll become comic. Lot of people have this thing, they're usually beggars who are dressed like Shiva. They can't go and kill an elephant or a tiger. They don't know the difference between a cheetah and a tiger or a leopard and a tiger. They're wearing leopard skin that they get in some cheap local market, some cloth like that, and they're smeared from head to toe. If they could not make dreadlocks, they'll wear a wig like that. You are making a caricature of it. He lived in the wild, so naturally hair becomes dreadlocked. Where do you go and weave a cloth? So he has a large retinue of people. The only thing he can eat is some big animal, elephant, where elephants were plenty. So they slew elephants and ate them and wore the skin around. Most practical thing to do for the time and the situation that he's in. You don't have to do the same thing today. It would be completely mockery of his existence. So, what is done in one time, if you do the same thing in another time, when times have changed and it's become irrelevant, without understanding the fundamentals of what it is, the important thing is, if bhasma is just being used as a symbolism, you can put it all over your body. But if you're using it as a way to sensitize certain aspects of who you are, then it need to be applied only in certain points of your body. In yoga, for different types of sadhanas, for different types of attainments that one may be seeking, bhasma is applied in different ways. But here, I believe all these fools are seeking enlightenment. Hello? Not power over somebody, not occult, not to get powers to burn somebody down, nothing. They want their own liberation. They're seeking liberation. There are just a few aspects which are important, only there they're applying.
There are many aspects to the usage of Vibhuthi or the sacred ash. Apart from its energy significance of what it is, apart from its ability to do things to direct and control the energy body, depending upon how it's prepared and how it's used. And apart from it being a great medium to transfer energy or transmit energy, the symbolic significance of Vibhuti or the bhasma is to indicate the mortal nature of life. One who does sadhana uses the ash that comes from the cremation grounds. The Adiyogi's stocks always came from the cremation grounds. And even today, many yogis only procure their ash that they need for their sadhana from the cremation grounds. One thing is, it has a certain quality of its own. Another thing is, it's a constant reminder of your own mortality. Always you're wearing mortality on your body. Shiva smeared his body head to toe in the ash from the cremation ground because he does not want to forget for a moment that he is mortal. For one moment if you forget that you're mortal, ignorance will sprout. If you forget for a long time, it'll bear fruit. If you start thinking that you're immortal, you will wear the crown of ignorance. To ignore mortality is ignorance. So, you will see particularly in South India, people have their forehead plastered, wearing their mortality like a badge, a constant reminder that I am not here for good. A constant reminder that I am only a temporary resident of this place. Because one who's constantly reminded of his mortality at least has created a fertile ground for his knowing. Maybe he doesn't know yet, but he has at least created a fertile ground for knowing to sprout in his life. Just putting soil back to soil. Very few people can do it gracefully. Of these billions of people on the planet, of the billions and billions who pass through, this planet, very, very few, extremely few, can give back the soil that they picked up from Mother Earth gracefully. Very few. we help you carry what you have picked up from Mother Earth. You must also carry it gracefully, it's very important. You carry it gracefully. When it's time to put back, you put it back gracefully. Just a scoop of earth, nothing more. If you have any other ideas about yourself, you learn the hard way. So you know, wherever you go, people are talking about you must be, you must be. All this telling you is from being an unnecessarily complicated mind, you just have to become a being, which you are. If you become a being, my job, it'll be a pleasure. Not with minds around. If you have great minds around, it's good. Stupidly complicated minds, no good. People who know how to complicate every simple situation, it's a lot of hard work for nothing. Mind is a fantastic gift to humanity. But what a horrible thing people may have made out of it. So, life and death can be handled gracefully if you plaster this with ash to remind this head all the time that I am mortal, I am mortal, I am mortal, I am mortal, you will see mind will uncomplicate itself. The simplest tool. You know, people get transformed if they believe they're going to die tomorrow. If your doctor told you you're going to die tomorrow, you can't live more than 24 hours, you will see, you will transform yourself so rapidly. Minute to minute you will change. So, don't wait for your doctor to tell you something horrible. Every day, when you take the Vibhuthi and smear it here, you're just reminding yourself, I'm mortal, I'm mortal, I'm mortal, I'm mortal. You need to do that. If you do that, your mind will become uncomplicated. An uncomplicated mind is a great mind. It can do phenomenal things. It will not be a hurdle. It will be a way by itself. And if you become a being, a guru's job will become a wonderful thing. Handling simple minds which are complicated. Simply, they believe they're complicated, they're not even complicated. It's just such a waste of time and life. Please don't expect people to die every day. You must remind yourself.